What up, my dudes, and welcome back to the holiday roundup. So, I am going over a couple of these spooky movies that are obviously based around the holidays that I actually enjoyed and really wanted to talk about. So, first one was A Christmas Horror Story. So, I really enjoyed this one. This is basically a horror movie that is like three little movies in one, plus like one main one. Does that make sense? It's like three little shorts coming together. Anyways. So you basically have freaking Captain Kirk, like Will Shatner, who's working in a radio station. And he's basically talking to everybody, oh, it's going to be a snowy night, stay inside kind of thing. You kind of hear him in the background, and he's talking about some stories. So we then have a family who is basically just trying to get somewhere. I want to say they're at like the grandma's or somewhere. Anyways, they end up busting something, and like we're talking like a tale of Krampus begins. Yeah. Basically this family slowly starts to get offed, and you're just like, oh my god. Yeah, ridiculous. Okay, so that's like one story. Two, you have like these youngins that are like, ooh, we're like ghost chasers, and like there's something that kept happening at this one school and it's been possessed. Anyways, so you have that, and then you also have this story of this kid who is like possessed by potentially like evil elves slash like doppelgangers. Yeah. Anyways, fantastic film. And like we're talking like crazy action packed. Like this was so good. If you're looking for something that's a bit more like, again, lighthearted, still brutal, yet like silly. Does that make sense? And the way they tie up all of these at the end, guys, I cannot even explain to you. I was like, stop. Like it made me so happy. The end of this film, I was like, whoever wrote this, like, I did not see it coming. Put it that way. I did not. Usually I'm really good at catching things and just knowing it's going to be aliens or something. But this was one of those movies that ended and I was like, no. It was so good. You have to see it. So A Christmas Horror Story. Highly suggest. Number two. So I got to watch this movie called The Sacrifice Game. A Sacrifice Game. The Sacrifice Game. It is streaming on Shudder. Anyways. Sacrifice Game. This was an interesting one. It had me because, one, it had this feeling of like cults. And like the opening scene, like right away, you're like, so good. Basically, you know, they're all going into this house, brutally start like just getting shit done. So it's basically about this little cult of, you know, teens. I guess you'd call them. Are they teens? Are they not? Young adults. And they're convinced that if they kill all these people, that they will be opening up like the gates to hell, and like Satan will basically do whatever their wishes are and like grant them whatever. At the same time as all this, you basically have this like orphanage type school, like where rich people put their kids when they don't want to deal with them. It's like a fancy boarding school. Now it's a boarding school. Okay. Anyway, so you have this fancy boarding school. Where everybody's going on holidays, but you have this one girl who's like obviously odd, and then you have this other one who's a tad odd herself, but like whatever, like more of like an outcast, who end up staying. And there's like one teacher who's staying as well, during that holiday break while everybody else goes home. And basically what happens is this cult ends up hitting up this wonderful orphanage slash, what did I call it before? A boarding school. Ends up hitting up the boarding school. And whoa. Okay. This movie, I'm kind of like medium about it. That's why I'm only giving it like, yeah. I forgot if I was counting things backwards or forwards. Like this would have been like my middle movie. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm labeling it as like number two. It's like in between, because this movie, one, the gore is so good. Two, I love that shock factor of like random acts of violence and people just kind of showing up. Three, they then kind of tie this all back to some ancient legend, and you're like, I saw that coming. And like there's like that tad of cheese, and I was like, I don't know if I love that, but I loved it enough that they made it kind of like this holiday movie where like you're just like, oh my god. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good for something new. Sacrifice Game. All right. Last movie, and this knocked my socks off. Don't ask me why. Like, I love Black Christmas. The original Black Christmas, fantastic film. We're talking the 70s. Now, I've heard the new one is pretty awful. They made a remake in 2019. Haven't watched it. But I went ahead and put on Black Christmas from 2006. Oh, what a great movie. Yeah, if you guys have not seen this one yet, you need to see it. Why? Because the deaths are brutal. It is your classic cheese of that era. Like, literally all the girls are like, everybody's wearing the same kind of thing. A little midriff showing. Everyone's like super like, oh my god, I just want to get drunk. But it's the story around it, how they trying to bring back, like, why are they getting attacked? Whose house is this? And what's about to happen to them? Like, how brutal was this guy? It is so good. Like, I miss movies like this where the kill count is, like, through the roof, right? And, like, there's this, like, awesome, like, sense of, like, we're it's sisterhood, right? We got to stick together. No one, like, leave anybody behind. And you're just like, oh, God. Here it goes. You're all gonna die. But yeah, it was super well done. Like, to me, this is, nobody talks about it. Like, we all talk about, like, the OG, right? Which is a fantastic film, like, hands down, probably one of the best. But 2006, this remake is like, hey, you want some freaking action and, like, a slice of Christmas log, Yuletide logs? I don't know what the hell they call it. Anyways, that's what I mean. So good. Yeah. That's my holiday roundup for you guys this year for 2024. What you guys should be watching. Let me know if you guys saw any wicked holiday movies as well, because it's always fun to kind of like discover new ones, or maybe what you think is a holiday movie. If you guys watched mine from last year, I was talking more about movies that kind of like evoke that kind of stuff in me. Like The Shining to me is a holiday movie. The Thing to me is a holiday movie. But I would love to know your list of a couple that you've watched this past holiday season. That'd be wicked. Guys, if you're following along, thank you so much. And if you're not, yo, get on that. Yeah. Huge shout out to Blushing. So we play, you see this is my little Bucky's guy? This is my little Bucky's guy. So we love to play we're doing every Tuesday now and every Saturday, where we go ahead and play games with you guys via Twitch live. And it is so fun. So Tuesdays we go live at around 10:15 p.m. Eastern. And Saturdays, we're always live at about 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can always, twitch.tv, /Makeupbilly. You'll be able to see our schedule. Point is, on Saturdays, we're always playing The Feud and or other games. We've recently started playing Papa's Quiz, which is like a trivia game that you guys can play from home and literally like partake. It's so much fun. But Blushing is awesome and sent us some fun gear from Texas as like holiday presents to us. So huge shout out to her. I love her so much. She's part of our Family Feud family, has been for the past like 3 years. It's kind of scary to think that we've been literally playing live for that many years. But I appreciate you all who join, and know if you've never joined before, you are so more than welcome. We just love to have a good time and shoot the shit and just talk. All right, my dudes, you guys have a wicked rest of your week, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.